The Integral Creative, a Manifesto of Art in the New Millennium. 1. We have reached the end of a 400-year quest for specialization. No one person can know everything about anything anymore. The scientific method, the method that reason promised us, will discover truth, is no longer working. We are lost in the millions of variables that appear when cause and effect are no longer linear. And they are very seldom linear now. We don't have a control anymore. And if we don't have a control, the scientific method falls apart. And when the scientific method falls apart, so does the truth generation system of our culture. 2. We are left floundering in this relativistic mode, in an ethnocentric and intracultural world surrounded and overwhelmed by chaotic masses of never-ending irrelevant data generated by the old paradigm. This chaos is a symptom of a culture floundering under a massive weight of irrelevant data, garbage data, generated by a paradigm of thinking that is losing its grip on our culture. The current paradigm is spewing out garbage like a squid spews ink in its final act when caught in the net. Data is not the only garbage being generated. We also produce massive amounts of physical garbage and moral garbage. We are all swimming around in this mass trying to find meaning, community, and truth. 3. The artist's role is to capture the underlying patterns the chaos creates and interconnect these patterns into a holistic, integral, balanced, and relevant paradigm that creates knowledge and eventually wisdom. A new paradigm is emerging in the world, a paradigm that encompasses a holistic, all-encompassing way of thinking and looking at the world. It is time to push the discourse from what is art, which tries to encapsulate and trap the object, to what is the journey, both for the artist and the audience. And that includes the immediate and secondary audience. We are back to the experience and back to the personal as a microcosm of the universal. We are back to choice. This is a redirection of the discourse around the so-called art object. In other words, like the ready-made or found object, back to the artist. Any discussion around the object is an exercise in futility. It bends back on itself and takes the intellect on a circular journey around the mind with no end result. 4. Art becomes a capture of a moment. It becomes the creative impulse and the ripple effect that this creative impulse has in the world. Art has to be in motion. It has to be activated and be a journey in itself. Art in the 21st century is no longer an object, or a performance, or a statement. Art has no boundaries, but is everything the artist touches with integral creative intent, including the reaction to the art, critical writing, and the resonance of the art within the culture and the world. In the 1920s, Mondrian and the De Stijl movement tried to find the universal by eliminating the personal and abstracting our world to its basic elements of line and primary color. Now, in the new millennium, it's time to go back to the artist and not separate him or her out, but to become one with his or her experience. The object is simply a manifestation of the experience, the subject of the experience, nothing more. It is the capture of an irretrievable moment of the journey. 5. Through integral creativity, the artist can transcend the past and create a new path to freedom in the new millennium. The artist is not on a journey. The artist is the journey. Thus, art is less of a response and more of an uncovering of what is already there, because everything is already there. The artist is the person who understands that the universal is not beyond us and dissects herself or himself to discover the journey to the truth.